Today is January 11th. There's been something on my mind as usual, and I've been thinking quite a bit lately about how our country is really sinking into some dark places. And what's really been bothering me is it's got so many tendrils. At the basis of it all is our education system being controlled by radical liberals. These aren't like liberals of the 60s. These are people with just crazy stuff. And what brings my attention to this is I have several nieces that I love dearly. I don't have children of my own. My sister had enough of them for both of us. And I try to fill in the gaps for these girls that they're not getting at home, more or less. And every kid needs some guidance. Every kid needs direction. And one of my nieces is 17. She's going to be graduating high school. She's got all that 17-year-old angst. I've never had to deal with teenage boys. It's probably a lot different, but the girls are just, oh my gosh, just over the top, loopy as it is. And I've had a lot of influence over this young lady over the years. But I have drastically noticed a change in this past year. Right down to the language she's using. She's become aware of patriarchal speaking and sexism and misogyny and blah, blah, all this other shit. This is just amazing to me. And all of a sudden she's become very anti-Christian. Now, I've taken this girl to church with me as much as I possibly could. I've tried to get her to understand the deeper understandings of Christianity, not the stuff you typically get in church. I try to show her historically various things. A lot of people that's not taught in traditional church theology these days. But I've always told her it's a choice. It's a personal choice. And all of a sudden now, Christians are racist and this and that. I look at her and I say, do you really think that I'm like that? She's hesitant to say anything because she knows who I am. I'm not one person to brag about myself. I won't do that. I don't like to do that. I like to let other people speak for me. So I don't mind it. I don't mind at all when people call me racist or they call me a bigot or they think of anything else they can think of. I could care less. And I'm not insecure in who I am. But what I've noticed is there's this been a change in her. So I've tried to have a real discussion on the differences between men and women, and it bugs her, and she gets ticked off. And I said to her, look, the facts are the facts. Men and women are different. We're not equal. Nobody's ever equal. Because some people are smarter than others, some people are stronger than others. We should all be treated with equal respect. But there's differences between men and women that you can't change. And men typically are physically stronger than women. That's why they separate women and men's sports. I mean, it's still going on today. If we were truly equal, men would be competing with women on an equal basis. And women lose. Could you imagine having a male and female football team playing together? Who's going to win? If you're going to play by the same rules? Think about it. So, that's just something and I've been seeing, and it kind of weighs on me. But here's the deeper thing, and this is something I was trying to talk to her about. And this is going to be viewed as hate speech, but I really don't care. I get about 5 people that look at these videos, and I don't need 1 million people looking at them. If 5 people listen to it, I'm happy with that. So here's the deal. A few years ago, the media was pushing equal rights for homosexuals. Basically, the right to get married. There wasn't anything else in there. Not about wage discrimination or, it was all about being able to get married. Well, homosexuals have had the right to get married now for a couple years in this country, and you don't hear anything about them anymore. I mean, that's it. There's not a peep from the media. Now, after that happened, the interesting thing is Obama's president, and he started pushing this small agenda. Well, if you feel like you're a woman inside, you should, even if you're a man, you can use a female bathroom. And that started a whole uproar. And from what I remember and what I'm recalling, that has been the beginning of the foolishness. And it doesn't take much, man. You can go on to Facebook and see all the crazy stuff that's going on with the idea of gender being malleable, and gender being fluid, and there's more than one gender, and it's like science has gone out the window with these people. And I could go into a long, detailed, scientific diatribe about gender and biology. How you think up here doesn't mean anything. I mean, I hate to say this, and I made other videos. I probably have erased them. About, if I think I'm Napoleon Bonaparte, that doesn't make me Napoleon Bonaparte. No matter how strongly I believe I'm Napoleon Bonaparte, I'm not Napoleon Bonaparte. And and nobody needs to feed the delusion. You don't feed delusions of other people. So we have that going on in our culture. So right now going on in our culture is this big push for transgenderism. I just seen that they got their own flag. How insane is that? Who comes up with that stupid stuff? So now all the transgender people have their own flags. So they're pushing for social acceptance. In reality, that's really what it is. They want social acceptance. And the truth be told, particularly with men dressing up as women has been a comedic bit for centuries. I mean, pre-Romans, men dressing up as women. And in Elizabethan England, with Shakespeare, women weren't allowed to be actors, so the men would dress up as females. That's been a long tradition with the British. It was always a comedic bit. So now we're supposed to take it seriously. Men dressing up as women should be taken seriously. So we'll go on that subject for just a second. So that's the big push within our society right now. So what happens maybe a year or two down the road when they become rabidly crazy like they aren't already, and they get some kind of legislation put in place, which they have tried. They've tried in Canada with this whole gender thing, that if you don't call somebody by their preferred pronouns, if you mispronoun them, personal pronoun, calling somebody her when she wants to be called he, you go to jail. Can you imagine that? I have a theory about all this, and my thoughts are, if somebody wants you to call them by a particular, don't talk to them at all. Because why would you want to risk getting a ticket or going to jail if you mispronounce somebody? Why would you want to even have a conversation with a person like that? If they want to be called something crazy like Zer, well, no one's going to alter the way we do the English language to accommodate such a small minority of people. I know I sure the hell ain't. And I'll execute my right to say, I don't want to even talk to you, because I don't want to take the risk of offending you and having to deal with the bullshit that comes from it. So let's go down the future a little bit, say these people get whatever the hell they're looking for, because I don't know what the hell they're looking for. And I'll resist and fight it all the way without any, I can pound sand. The next minority group, or the next social injustice group, or whatever the hell you want to call it, that's going to be front and center, is going to be the pedophiles, the child molesters. Let's call them what they are. Let's call them the child molesters. And they've already been advocating for a long time and trying to connect themselves with the gay and lesbian community And so far, I think the gay and lesbian community is trying to distance themselves from it, but not all of them. Not all of them. So what you have is they even want to change the name. And I've seen some scientific articles. I've seen some things in regards to they can't help themselves. It's a natural thing. They're born like this. They use the whole homosexual argument. They use the whole gender, non-binary, transgender movement as the same kind of thing. You can't help how you feel inside of who you really are, and you can't help who you're attracted to. So you have a bunch of people in most civilized societies in the world and in history, really, just you don't like people molesting their kids. People don't like having their children getting being sexualized, having sexual relations with adults. I mean, we're not talking 15-year-olds here. That's always open for debate, always has been. I'm talking kids, little kids. Like prepubescent kids. So let's even make that clear. So you get these. I mean, you have people that sexually abuse infants. You have people that sexually abuse toddlers. You have people preschoolers. You have people at grammar school, grade school, and they call themselves. They have a term for it, and I forgot. They call them age minor attracted, or some kind of less creepy sounding, more scientific sounding words for their perversion, more or less, or their degradation, or whatever you. I don't know why we don't have the death penalty for these people, because they should be put to death. I mean, there's just no question about it. You don't have people that argue, but come on, man. You have someone imagine your child. Imagine you got a 2-year-old, and someone molests that 2-year-old. You want to see that person go? Because they never stop at one. They keep going on and going on. They're monsters. There's nothing. You can't find anything redeeming about people like this. Period. And you know what? I mean, truth be told, you want to destroy somebody. You really want to destroy somebody. You just put the accusation out there that they're like this. And I've become so aware of this. I've told my older nieces. I recently told them this. Do not let me around your youngest sister. I do not want, because I posted some videos of her, and I personally don't trust her. I don't ever want to be around her. I don't ever want to be accused of touching a child inappropriately. So I told them all, don't let me around this. I don't want to be alone with this kid. I don't want to ever babysit her. I don't want any of that stuff ever coming up. Because just the accusation is enough to ruin your life. And, these days, the accusation is enough to destroy somebody. So, there's going to be a push to normalize pedophilia. I don't know what the end game of it is. I basically see the world differently than a lot of people. I don't believe in the inherent goodness of mankind. I just don't. I think human beings are horrible, horrible creatures. I think we're horrible as a species, and we're capable of doing good things. That's the opposite of what most people say. But I think inherently we're horrible. Under pressure, under difficulty, human beings can either shine, or they are typically just horrific. I mean, that's just historically, so you have to look at the world that way. It's not hard to see it. There's always a small minority that rise above the depravity, but most of the humanity goes through the depravity. And I don't know what the end game of this is, but if you don't think this is real, just keep your eyes on the news and watch. There is some 11-year-old kid named Desmond going around as a drag queen. What kind of 11-year-old kid runs around as a drag queen? What kind of parents allow that? This kid recently was prancing around in a gay bar taking money. Think about this. I think it was in New York. Any any parent that did that somewhere, they usually get arrested and child services comes and does an investigation? No, not this one. They put the kid on Good Morning America. Or the Today Show, I don't know what it was, and celebrate how brave this child is. What does he know? I don't even know if he's 11. Maybe he's 9. What is it? What is it? A 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, and an 11-year-old know? They're just a few years removed from learning how to wipe their ass and tying their shoes. And they're in a gay bar. This kid's in a gay bar taking money from gay men. Think about this. There's no straight people in a gay bar. These are gay men giving a kid dressed up in drag money. Think about this. And then they put this kid on mainstream media news. You know, look how brave he is. And the audience claps. The audience is clapping. It's just beyond comprehension. What the hell has happened to our country? Do you think, go 40 years, just go 20 years into the past and see how well that was accepted? I was alive 20 years ago. It wouldn't have been accepted. You can keep going further back. Jeez, you go a little further back, you have people with pitchforks ready to burn that place down. Are you kidding me? So this is where our society is going. This is where we're headed. And the truth of the matter is, it is a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle. These are powers and principalities and high places, and you have a whole bunch of people. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie. And you know, I never believed in conspiracy theories. I've had some things happen to me in my life that has totally flipped me the other way around. Because you know that there's bullshit going on. You know that the stuff is being hidden. You know that there is factions within the government that try promoting it and hiding it for whatever reasons. So I'm much more open now to the whole idea of conspiracies than I ever was before. And maybe we should all start to look at these things with a little more open eyes, because whatever is going on, it's not good. It's not good. When you have a grade school kid parading around in front of a camera for a show that is broadcast around the world, and he's being hailed as a hero, and he's brave. Really? What are they teaching these kids in school? Do you know what your kids are being taught? Are you looking at their homework? You know, you have the right as a parent to go sit in a class and watch what your kids are being taught. Maybe everybody should do that from time to time. See what their kids are being taught. Their reading levels sucks. Their math skills suck. And what they're learning look, I've had some dealings with college-educated people who don't even know how life on Earth is classified. Shit, I learned that when I was in the 4th grade. Honest to God. I've said to them, you graduated college? You graduated college? I've met plenty of them. And if that's what you come out of college and you went to college and you don't even know the basic formalities of life on Earth and how life works, there's a huge-ass problem. Big time. What the hell are you learning in there? You're supposed to be exposed to all kinds of shit. No, what you're learning transgender studies. You're coming out with a degree in transgenderism. You're coming out with degrees in that are worthless in the real world. Our future is not good. The future of the entire world is not good. Particularly in Western culture, when you have this kind of insanity. And I could go on to Eastern cultures, and I could go on, but we're all so connected now, and there's so much bullshit going on. There is a push, whether people like it or not, there is a push for a worldwide government. And I often thought when I was younger I was going to live to see it. And then, you know, I got a little older, and but now, man, if you can't see it, you can't see what's going on in Europe. You can't see what's going on in this country, how there's things being orchestrated to try to ruin our national sovereignty. It's going on. And you have half the population that welcomes it. They're voting people into Congress that welcomes that kind of bullshit thinking. And it's going to get bloody, regardless of what anybody thinks. It's going to turn into somewhere along the line, bloodshed is going to happen. Now, I've argued with people about this because the Army, whoever side the Army takes is who wins. And traditionally, people in the Army have been conservative. Obama kind of changed that. Obama was screwing around with that. And just because Trump is in office, that might be changed for a short period of time. But I think Trump is probably the last conservative president you will ever see. And even if he gets elected in 2020, I will be shocked if there will ever be another conservative sitting in that seat of power for the rest of my life. And I think that the degradation has begun. You can only put a Band-Aid on it. It's like a little hole in a wall of a dam, and the water's spewing out. And eventually the water pressure behind will rip that hole in the size of a golf ball, and then it rips it into a softball, and the next thing you know, that whole dam comes crumbling down. And that is going to be our society. And it ain't going to be pretty. And there are going to be people that fight back, and there's going to be a cost. There's going to be bloodshed cost. There's going to be bloodshed. I don't see how it's avoidable. You're going to have a whole bunch of people that are going to be frightened and not to do anything, and you're going to have two people go. It's just not going to be good. I used to think that kind of shit was crazy, but I don't think so anymore. Everybody should be aware of it. If it just makes you start to think about it, that's all that matters. But start thinking about it. Start watching the media. Watch what the media rallies behind. Watch what the media pushes. Watch what they rejoice in. If you find yourself thinking this is a wonderful thing and it's really something decadent and nasty and foul, you got a problem. There's something wrong with you. If you can't reach deep down inside of you and pull out that little shred of what is decent, there's no hope for you. There isn't. There's no hope. Try to remember this, that human beings are not good in nature. All right? Our nature is not good. We're horrible beings that occasionally do wonderful things. That occasionally do good things. It's not the other way around. If you're honest with yourself, don't be so damn full of yourself and think you're so wonderful, because we're not. I know I sure the hell ain't. I'm the best me that there can be, and boy, I got people that hate me. But at the same time, I have people who love me dearly. And the people that generally hate me are ones that don't have a clue of who the hell I am. Because I don't go around telling the entire world who I am. So if this makes you think, that's all that matters, because, man, there are some shit times coming. And unfortunately, I'm probably going to be alive to see it, but I'm too damn old to do a damn thing about it.